The silent souls in the misty, ancient village of Eirendale, nestled deep within a valley shrouded by towering pines, there was a legend whispered among the villagers. It spoke of silent souls, ethereal beings who wandered the forest, unseen and unheard by the living. These souls, it was said, were guardians of secrets long forgotten, and those who could understand their silence would uncover profound wisdom. Elara, a young woman with an insatiable curiosity and a quiet demeanor, was deeply fascinated by these tales. Her grandmother, a wise old woman with eyes that sparkled with untold stories, often spoke of the silent souls. They are the keepers of our past, Elara, she would say. To hear their silence is to understand the essence of life itself. Elara spent her days helping her family with their small farm and her evenings listening to her grandmother's stories. But her nights were filled with dreams of the silent souls, of wandering through the misty woods and feeling their presence. One particularly foggy evening, as the village was enveloped in a thick blanket of mist, Elara decided to venture into the forest, determined to uncover the truth behind the legends. With a lantern in hand and her heart pounding with anticipation, Elara followed the narrow, winding path that led into the depths of the forest. The air was cool and damp, and the only sounds were the soft rustling of leaves and the distant hoot of an owl. As she walked deeper into the woods, the silence grew more profound, wrapping around her like a thick cloak. After what felt like hours, Elara came upon a clearing bathed in the soft glow of the moonlight filtering through the trees. In the center of the clearing stood an ancient stone circle, covered in moss and ivy, its weathered surfaces hinting at centuries of history. She approached the stones with reverence, feeling a strange energy in the air. Elara sat down on one of the stones, closed her eyes, and listened. The silence was unlike anything she had ever experienced. It was deep and resonant, as if the very essence of the forest was speaking to her. As she opened her heart to the stillness, she began to sense faint whispers, not of words, but of emotions and memories. In that moment, she felt the presence of the silent souls. They were all around her, their ethereal forms shimmering faintly in the moonlight. They did not speak, yet Elara felt a profound connection to them. It was as if they were sharing their wisdom with her, not through words, but through a deep, unspoken understanding. Elara spent what seemed like hours in the clearing, absorbing the silent knowledge of the souls. She saw visions of the past, glimpses of the lives they had lived and the wisdom they had gained. She felt their joys and sorrows, their hopes and dreams. And through it all, she understood that their silence was not emptiness, but a rich tapestry of experiences and truths. When she finally rose to leave, Elara felt a sense of peace and clarity she had never known before. The silent souls had shared their secrets with her, and she knew that she had been entrusted with a great gift. As she made her way back to the village, the mist began to lift, and the first light of dawn broke through the trees. Back in Eirendale, Elara's return was met with a mixture of relief and curiosity. Her family and friends gathered around, eager to hear about her journey. She shared her experience with them, speaking of the silent souls and the profound wisdom she had gained. The villagers listened with rapt attention, their eyes wide with wonder. From that day on, Elara became known as the keeper of the silent soul's wisdom. She used the knowledge she had gained to help her community, offering guidance and support to those in need. Her presence brought a sense of peace and understanding to the village, and the legend of the silent souls became an even more cherished part of Eirendale's heritage. Elara often returned to the forest, visiting the stone circle and listening to the silent whispers of the souls. Each time, she gained new insights and deeper understanding, which she shared with her fellow villagers. The connection between the living and the silent souls grew stronger, and the wisdom of the past became a guiding light for the future. Years passed, and Elara grew old, but her spirit remained as vibrant and curious as ever. She continued to visit the stone circle, even when her steps became slower and her strength began to wane. One crisp autumn evening, as the leaves turned to shades of gold and crimson, Elara made her final journey to the clearing. Sitting on the ancient stone, she closed her eyes and listened to the silence one last time. The silent souls welcomed her with open arms, their presence a comforting embrace. In that moment, Elara felt herself becoming one with the silence, her spirit merging with the ethereal realm of the souls. When the villagers found her the next morning, they knew that Elara had joined the ranks of the silent souls. They mourned her passing, but they also celebrated her life and the wisdom she had brought to Eirendale. Her legacy lived on in the hearts and minds of the villagers, and the legend of the silent souls continued to inspire and guide them. The story of Elara and the silent souls became a cherished tale, passed down through generations. It reminded the people of Eirendale that true wisdom often lies in the quiet moments, in the stillness of the heart, and in the silence that speaks volumes. And as long as the forest stood and the stone circle remained, the silent souls and their timeless wisdom would never be forgotten.